Albuquerque, a toasty 50 degrees, 44. In Santa Fe, we're 96.3 News Radio, KKOB.
Woof.
Woof.
Woof, woof.
Woof!
Welcome, everyone, to Duke City Dog Talk. This is 96.3 News Radio KKOB. I'm your host. I'm Jeff from Boofy's Best for Pets, here with Lisa, also from Boofy's Best for Pets.
Hello.
And Lindsay from K9 Resorts.
So good to be together always. I look forward to Saturday at noon to be with you guys.
I look forward to it as well. And here we are. We made it. We made it yet another week. We have a special guest with us this week, too.
Yes, we do. A happy guest.
Yes. Happy guest.
She's nervous, so we have to be nice to her this time. Jeff.
Unlike last time. No.
Well, we've got some, maybe not as quite as happy subjects to talk
Yeah,
about,
we
but
do.
our special guest, Aniko Voss from Best Friends, Pet Passings, and Cremations is with us today. We're going to talk about, end of life sort of issues and activities and things that we can do for our best friends, and when that day comes. And welcome, Aniko.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So, Anika, I'm going to get this right out here because
Okay.
I asked you if it was okay. Tell us about your background because you have a great, unique voice.
Accent.
Accent. I'm going to go
You
that
can
way.
say that.
I'm going to go that way.
Um,
I have a face for radio. I keep having friends tell me that. But you have a beautiful face. It works well on radio or on a podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's good. Good thing we're on video, huh?
Yeah.
So I was born in Hungary. I'm Hungarian, and I've been here in the States for almost 20 years now.
Okay. Cool. And what got you into this business? And also tell us about your dogs. Your choice.
My dog, he's a 90-pound pit and lab mix. His
Oh.
name is Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris. We have a Chuck Norris that comes to our shop, but he's a corgi.
Is he?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
A corgi named Chuck Norris.
That's awesome.
All right.
So he's my Texas Ranger. We found him in Texas.
Oh,
Somebody left
okay.
him behind in an RV park.
Oh, wow.
And I said, okay, he can stay for one night. And it's been almost 8 years.
Yes, that happens. Yes.
Wow,
Totally.
it's like-
They adopted you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
absolutely.
adopted
Over
you.
2,500 one nights.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
He's
cool.
great.
That's cool. So did we ask the other question? Did you answer both questions?
No, just one.
Oh, okay. Answer the other
So
one.
how
then.
did I end up in this industry?
Yeah.
Well, I was in a very different industry. As I told you earlier, I worked at the Marriott, but COVID happened, and of course, all managers were laid off right away. And I was home for a few months, and I didn't know what my next step was. And I started to look for a job, and I was reading job descriptions on online, and I found this, and I said, "Oh, managing a pet cremation place. I didn't even know you could cremate a pet." And I'm
Right.
like, "I have a dog, and I didn't know. I never
Right.
thought about him dying one day." And so I kept reading for a few days, and I did a bunch of research on the company, and I applied. And it's been almost 5 years now.
Right. And it's a French's locally owned company, right?
Yes. So the big company is Farewells,
Mm-hmm.
and under that umbrella company, there is Best Friends, the Sunset Memorial Park, Cremation Society of New Mexico, and French Funerals.
Okay. All of that. So tell us what you do.
So we make arrangements with families for pet cremation. Also, we partner with about 20 vet clinics in town.
Okay.
So we take deceased pets from the clinics. We take them into our care, and we cremate those pets. Those arrangements are made between the families and the vet clinics.
Okay. And what percentage walk in the door and what percentage come from the vet clinics?
75% of our pets coming from the vet clinics, and 25% is about 25% comes through our door, and they make arrangements directly with us.
And so can then you help make arrangements for them to be put at Sunset Memorial Park? Is that part of what you do?
So after cremation, we have two different type of cremations
Okay.
available. The private cremation is when there is only one pet in the chamber for the service,
Okay.
and we can return the cremated remains to the families in an urn of their choice.
Okay.
And then there is a group cremation option available when there are multiple pets in a chamber for the service, and the ashes don't get separated after. They get placed in an ossuary. It's a
Okay.
large underground urn in a Sunset Memorial Park. They
Oh,
have
really?
a beautiful pet cemetery. People don't
Right.
know about that.
Yes.
I was not aware of that. So,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
we want to
no.
hear more about that too.
I
And-
still live right across the street, so I know it pretty well.
Yeah.
I walk my dogs there from an all
Yeah.
school. It's right there. Yeah.
A lot of people go to the cemetery to for a walk, or they take their dogs for a walk there. And there is a small pet cemetery there with the ossuary. There is a beautiful blue tile wall. People can purchase tiles, and
Oh,
those
cool.
can be engraved by the cemetery.
Okay.
So even if you opt not to take the cremated remains home, you have an option to have some sort of memorial for your pet. Also, some people still want to do burial, so the Sunset Memorial Park is able to do services, funeral services for pets. You can buy a place there. Also, they have niches available.
Oh, cool.
These are the little boxes where ashes can be stored.
Those are in walls, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
A niche, you know,
Yeah.
I know people who are that way placed. Are they still people? Yes, I would call them still people, even if they're in a wall in a niche and cremated. So, are you full service? If I come in with my dead dog and I want, you know, burial and the whole 9 yards, you can help me do that, or do you work with someone?
So we make arrangements for cremation. If somebody wants anything, any memorials purchased from the cemetery, they have to talk to the
Okay.
cemetery people.
Okay.
But we have their information, and I would be able to give you basic information with pricing, but
okay.
we direct people to
Okay.
go to the Sunset Memorial Park, and we still prepare the pets for funeral services, but they are the ones, taking care of everything else.
So you do non-cremations too, right? Like if I believe in the full resurrection of the body, like some people
Burials,
do,
yeah, burials.
want full burial. You'd help do that too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I could buy a box from you. and all
Yes,
that.
from the Sunset Memorial Park.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a partnership there. All
Yeah.
right. Wow. And the hard question. No, there's lots of hard questions. First of all, we all know how hard it is to lose a dog. What percentage of people come in there crying?
Darn near 100%.
I was going to say about 110%, I would imagine.
Yeah. One way or the other, they're all upset. You know, we all deal with this differently. So
That's
there
fair.
are people, they need more support, in-person support. So they can spend as much time as they need with us.
Oh, that's
we work
nice.
by the appointment. That's a hard part, but just like any other businesses, so many people we have on staff and so many arrangement rooms we have available. But there are people, they opt to fill out paperwork on our website, and they can even submit the payment there for services, and they can just make a shorter drop-off. But there are arrangement rooms available where they can, stay with their pets, and then they can say their last goodbyes. They're able to write a goodbye note. Those notes can be cremated with the pets.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Wow.
it's very nice.
Things I never thought of. And how many staff do you have, Anika?
8. We are 8 of us.
8 of you. Okay.
Yeah.
And are you all like kind like you?
Yes, I have a great team, and we are all pet parents. So we
Okay.
understand the bond,
Right.
what happens between humans and pets, and we believe they are as important as our human family members, and sometimes they even more important.
Right.
So,
No,
Many
no.
times.
Many times. Yeah, many
Yeah.
times we're more attached to our pups than we are some people, for sure.
so we try to accommodate everyone as much as we can.
It's a difficult subject. Our pets passing, any of our family members passing is always it's a personal, very deeply personal issue and connection, and how we decide how to move forward with that, how to grieve that is, it's all very personal. One thing I learned, I don't know if any of you are Star Trek fans, but I did learn from watching Star Trek that how we deal with death is at least as important as how we deal with life. And so I'm really happy to hear all these, this incredible breadth of services that you have for helping memorialize our loved ones when they pass.
Yeah, death and life are so intertwined. We're all going to be there, and we've, in some ways, I think we have pets prepares us a little bit how to manage it when people close to us pass too.
Yeah, and we also offer grief support services.
Oh,
so
cool.
that's part of our
Oh wow.
our service. We have a PhD counselor, so
Oh,
that's a
really?
very nice touch
Mm-hmm.
to add.
Yeah, when my mom passed, it was very interesting. I worked the funeral home I work with. They had a counselor who would call me several times after to see how I was doing. So, interesting. I didn't expect that. Yeah.
Well, we're going to go ahead and go to a break. This has been very, very informative, and we're going to talk more about this after the break.
Yeah.
But,
And people can call if they have questions, right, Jeff?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Call or text. The number is 505-243-3333. Here we are on 96.3 News Radio KKOB. Welcome back, everyone, to Duke City Dog Talk here on 96.3 News Radio,
Yahoo!
KKOB. The phone number or the text number, if you want to join us in conversation here. 505-243-3333. And we have a caller on the line. Jeff, thanks for calling.
Hey, good, thanks. I just wondered how much the cremation costs for that service.
That's a good question. And,
Hi, Jeff. Hi, Jeff. So we have two different type of cremations available. If you like to receive your pet's cremated remains, the private cremation starts at $245 plus tax, and that includes a standard urn of your choice. And of course, you can always add memorials such as paw print and fur clipping for an additional cost. And the group cremation is $150 plus tax. With that service, we place the ashes at the ossuary in a Sunset Memorial Park, and that even though you don't get the ashes back, you can select a keepsake, a paw print or a fur clipping.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Couple of questions. How many people opt to do like the private service versus the group cremation? Do you have like a rough
I would
percentage?
say about at least 90% of people
They want the
they
r-
want the private cremation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's high. Well, for another $95, I guess. Just tells you. I mean, of course, we all live in work in businesses where people are spending hundreds of dollars on their dogs and cats
I think
while
it-
they're alive. So
Yeah,
it
I
makes
think
sense.
it kind of depends too on what people's connections are to the passing of an animal or even of a person, and whether they feel like the ashes are something that they want to continue to hold on to.
Right.
And we like we talked about this, we all deal with this differently.
Sure.
A lot of people say, or many people say, they don't like to see the cremated remains. They don't want to see the paw prints and fur clippings because it makes them sad.
Sure.
And then so many people, they walk their dogs at the cemetery, so they know about the pet cemetery, they know about the ossuary, so they like that option, so they can always come back with the sibling pets.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. No, I like that too.
So, Nico, also, I was intrigued. We've done paw prints for many of our animals that have passed in the past, but you said clippings, hair
clippings, yes,
and you might even have many other memorial items to select from too.
Yeah, you can have so many different things nowadays. We have the paw prints and fur clippings available. We can also do digital nose or paw prints. That we take a photo of the paw or the nose, and these can be turned into a PDF file. And once you have that PDF, that can be engraved to metal, glass,
A lot of
wood,
people will
you
get
name it.
tattoos.
And tattoos, yes.
Tattoos are very
Yeah.
popular for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a great option. Also, we have pendant urns. These are little pendants. You can wear them on a necklace, and those hold a small amount of the ashes. And when it comes to these jewelries, you can have stainless steel, you can have gold, you can have
Wow.
silver. Yeah.
You have all those
Yes.
things, and they're filled and sealed, right?
Yes.
They can't open them
Yeah,
easily. Yeah,
that's
you wouldn't
correct.
want it spilling.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you work with any companies that would take some amount of ashes and turn it into something else?
Yes. So the ashes can. We work with a gentleman. You can have ashes inside of a glass pendant, inside of glass. Also, there is a company in Santa Fe. They can turn the ashes into pebbles, like white little rocks. I can't remember their name. It'll come to me. But that's very interesting. It's pricey, but some people love that option.
Right, right.
So you were talking before. A lot of people are now doing this ahead, right?
Yes.
That you can pay ahead. You can have everything in place. Tell me about how that works. Yeah.
So a lot of people go through on this unexpectedly, and then later on they regret not ordering or not getting any paw prints, fur clippings. So after the fact, they think about their next pets.
Right.
So they call us, and they can set up an appointment. They can come in, and they can take care of everything ahead of time. I feel like they are in a different state of mind. They can focus more on
Right.
what they want,
Right.
and then they can pay ahead of time,
Right.
they can also make payments.
So they could pay ahead of time, and that if it costs
Yeah.
more or later, they've locked in their
it's,
price.
It's the
yeah.
same. There is no interest or
Yeah.
anything like
Yeah.
that.
So
Payment plan is good
Yeah.
because that way you don't get the immediate big hit of the
Right.
cost. But I particularly like the idea of actually being able to select how you want to memorialize your pet, because I know from experience,
It's
Lisa and I
overwhelming.
have both
Very
lost
overwhelming at the time.
many pets over the years. We've taken in some older ones or harder case issues and just lost several. And each time, it's hard. We're overwhelmed with the emotions of what's going on. It's hard to select exactly what it is we want. And in many cases, I don't think we knew about many options either. So I think it's a great idea
Absolutely.
to actually start looking beforehand.
Absolutely. And we receive many phone calls. We have people, they set up appointments just to come in and see their options. Also, when it comes to payment, if I can say that, many times it happens suddenly and they don't have the funds to cover the cremation prices. The clinics can accept care credit payments. So
Okay.
these care credit cards, people can apply for their own medical,
Right.
procedures.
Yeah, I
and
see
then
veterinary
for pets
people
also.
using them, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we cannot accept care credit payments, but the clinics can.
Okay, so they can go through
Yeah.
them, and then they pay them
Yeah,
off
yeah.
through the care
Yeah.
credit. All right, I have a question that you don't want to answer yet, but when we come after the next break, I want you to answer. How do you deal with all the sadness that comes into your office? And don't answer yet. I want you to think about that one. That's not quite break at it, but I just had that question. I wanted you to think and ruminate on that one, because that's
It's a good
know,
question
it'd be-
because, the pet industry is vast, all the different sorts of
Yeah.
services and businesses.
Some of them are fun and happy.
Some
Well,
are
yeah,
some are nothing but
we're,
fun.
We're nothing but fun at our place. I mean, we're a happy place. Canine Resort. You go in there, and those dogs are just having a blast. So we do face losing some of our good friends, but it's not a day-to-day thing at all. So. Yeah, it's so we're going to talk about,
Okay.
folks. If you don't like sadness, don't come back. Okay, but it's one of those things you got to deal with.
Well, we should talk about it because,
Yeah.
again, a lot of times we, are solo in our grief and
Yeah.
we don't really know how to handle it. And especially when you
Absolutely
lose
not.
a pet versus a person, not everyone is totally understanding of that.
No.
More so now than it used to be with
Yeah.
pets as family members. But, some people don't
agree.
understand the grief
Agree.
of a loss of a pet. It can be just as traumatic as losing a
Absolutely.
human, if not more so.
Absolutely.
Well, we're
all
going to
agree.
go ahead and take a deep breath and consider, prepare ourselves. And we're
Vegas
going to go to
nerves.
commercial break too.
Yeah.
So if you want to give us a call or text, the number is 505-243-3333, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Duke City Dog Talk. We're talking about
Woof.
sometimes
Meow.
Sad wolves.
Meow,
Sad
exactly.
wolf. Yeah, we're doing sad topics today, right?
It's kind of sad topic, but we can make it a less sad topic, and it's a topic that we all have to encounter. Life really only has one outcome. We live, and then we pass, and we walk across that rainbow bridge and see all of our beloved pets there.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope so.
Yes.
Totally hope so on that one.
Yeah. They don't always pass at convenient times, though. Isn't that right? I think, Lisa,
Oh, yes.
you might want to share.
Actually, my latest encounter with your business, back in October, we had a cat who unexpectedly passed. She was sick, but we did not expect her to pass at, 10 o'clock on a Friday night, which is what happened. And then it's like, okay, what do you do? So in that case, we took her to Roadrunner where they could handle it. But, sometimes you're already overwhelmed by a situation maybe you weren't expecting. You're not really sure what to do, but you need to do something because you can't just ignore the situation at that point. So, what are the options? Obviously, like at one of the overnight clinics.
So we are closed on the weekends, and we have plenty of information about what to do on our website. And we also monitor our emails and voicemails throughout the weekend. So there is help. And we partner with a Roadrunner Emergency Clinic. They are off of Jefferson. And people
They
can...
were very kind.
Yes, they really are. Again, they are 24/7. You don't need an appointment. You can just take your deceased pet there, and they are able to set up everything for cremation with us. So that's
cool.
pretty convenient, and we take deceased pets into our care on Monday, and then a couple other times during the week.
But you could put your pup in a refrigerator, or your dead.
Yes.
Climate control
Yeah.
to keep.
Yeah.
Best.
And some people, for smaller pets, they buy these little cooler chests and they place them there. We have all this information on our website available.
I had never thought about a cooler for my dog, but then I'd never be able to use that cooler again. I'm
Exactly.
sure, just emotionally, I'm going to put beer in that thing after. Yeah, I don't know. I don't drink beer, but what the heck?
It's bestfriendspetcremationservices.com.
All of that in one word.
Yes. So I always tell people just Google pet cremation
Yeah.
in Albuquerque, and we are the first one popping up. There are not many options in the state. So.
Okay. So do you get people coming from far away as well?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we even partner with the vet clinic in Tucumcari.
Oh, wow.
So they deliver their pets to us, and we ship the ashes back. You can ship ashes with USPS. And we have
Yeah.
people coming from Farmington, Grants, you name it.
Yeah, you have to. I had my mom's ashes shipped, and
Yeah, you can
they
do
can
that.
do. But I think they're pretty careful. You have to sign for it or something.
Yes, and the USPS, they have to be in a special box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember all that. So, Lisa, we need to let her answer the question. How do you deal with all the sadness?
I think it's a calling. You can either do this or not. It gets sad, but we support each other within the team. We get support from the company also, and it's very rewarding to be there for families.
Yeah.
Still, many people think, oh, it's just a dog, it's just a cat. We don't believe in that. We believe they're as important as our human family members, and they're always there for us. So we all experience this bond one way or the other, and it's very nice to be there for families and create these keepsakes and
Sure.
offer something for them.
You're in one of those jobs, as I've been in schools, where you're at the toughest points in their lives. Sometimes when I graduate kids or when I expel kids. Some of those kids are my best friends today. But the same kind of, you're at a very important passage in their life, and you're there to support and do what we hope is the right thing to help them make sense of it. So how do you make sense of all this loss? What do you
I think in many
tough one.
cases,
No, I'm making her.
People
I don't
don't-
want you to cry because Lisa's about to.
I know.
I think we all kind of have a different relationship with life and death issues, and I think that if you're in a business in which you're dealing with passing of whether it's animals or people, then you probably have, I guess a bit different relationship with it than many other people do.
Sure.
Like if you can kind of objectively understand that there's a start and there's an end,
Right.
and if you can look back and celebrate, all the middle, all the good parts, then you can have, kind of a easier time with it maybe, but
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 Well, the
many-
key word you said is objective.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you can know objectively, but subjectively, that's where it all gets
Right.
us.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Because this is totally emotional, and that's what you have to recognize, right?
Yeah. And again, we all deal with this differently. We see all of it at work. Some people get very, very close to their pets and they struggle after for the longest time.
Right.
And some people can just move on very fast, and it doesn't mean they didn't love their
No,
pets as
they-
much.
But that's the way grief is, right? It hits you at weird times. I mean, I'll thinking about my dog Tex dying. I mean, he's getting on, and I get really sad. And then I start reflecting on all the dogs I've had, and each of
Yep.
their passing, and then you
Every
become,
single one comes right
yeah,
back
right,
up.
right.
Yeah.
You like picture them, and then they're gone, and I try to accept it all as a gift. These are gifts we've been given to have these dogs for so long. But I've met more people, and we've talked about this a little bit before. They have it after a dog dies, they won't get another. Sad.
That is so
We hear
baffling to
that
me.
too, yeah.
I mean, it hurts like hell when you lose a pet.
Fair
and you,
enough,
can, in the
yeah.
moment you can make those statements, but it's always interesting to me that people actually follow through on that
Right.
because I'm just like, you get used to having that presence and love in your
Absolutely.
life, and not to have that.
Absolutely.
I try to enjoy every day with my dog. I learn a lot from him. We dwell so much on the past, and we worry about the future a whole lot, and they
Right.
just live in the moment.
Right, right. And
So-
it's a gift,
Yeah,
right, to live in that moment. They're so happy to see me every day, unlike every other person in my house.
I wasn't going to name names, but
So Lindsay, you touched on an issue too, because your dog is getting up there in
Right.
years, and you're starting to observe some issues, and you're
Right.
thinking maybe the end is near. And we get this question at Boofy's fairly regularly from
Right.
customers, because they'll have an elderly pet also,
Right.
or a sick or otherwise incapacitated animal. And they ask, when is it right? When is the right time to help your animal across? And I'll tell you that the advice that we tend to give is to let your companion animal let you know. Listen to them. So when they're engaged, when they're wanting to be with you, even if they're struggling, and they're struggling, and you're struggling with them, but if they're engaged and trying to participate and trying to enjoy things, then they're still wanting to
Right.
be there with us.
you need to honor the spirit of your pet.
Absolutely. So,
And sometimes they'll do the opposite. They'll
Right.
withdraw. They'll
That's
stop
part of it.
eating. they'll
Absolutely.
stop getting up.
Yep.
Stop greeting you, and then you know that it's kind of the scales have tipped the other way, and they're ready for their passing.
So I had my dog Jingle, first golden. She didn't want to come in. She came in every day, and she just stayed outside. And the next 2 days later, I find her on my front porch as I'm running to school to lead a morning meeting, dead. And
wow.
I went to that meeting. This dog was friends with 200 boarding kids, and I stood up trying to have that meeting and cried. Whole place.
Everyone else teared up
See?
along with you.
Once again,
Yep.
once again,
Those
that's just the way it
connections,
is.
those connections are just so deep.
Yeah. So you have the privilege, and I know you take it as that, of being there for people at that moment, right? When they really are grieving their dogs. So how we kind of touched on this. What are things we can do to manage our grief in your experience?
I think one needs to be gentle to themselves, and many times people apologize for
Sure.
crying. And
Sure.
it's like this
Like
is the
me,
place
I'm
you
just
can let it
apologizing
out.
right
and,
here, yeah.
And I think when it comes to that, let it out. Cry, and don't hold it back just to make other people feel better. We encourage them to spend a little time with their pets before they leave the building. We love when they share pictures with us. We love when they talk about the first time they met that pet, or they tell us stories about the dogs. And yeah,
I think celebrating the life is important, and that's what people are doing when they're telling stories too. They talk about the periods of joy that they had with their loved ones, and I think that's a good way to like turn the painful loss into a celebration and having joy about the time that you did get to spend with them.
That one takes time.
It does indeed.
And there's a lot of traumatic things that goes on at the end. I mean, if you've had a pet who's been ill and steadily declining, there's a bit of a roller coaster that you go through when you know what's going to happen, and every day you wake up or whenever you come home from work,
Right.
you're like, checking on things to see what the state of the state is. And then, if you have to make the decision to take your pet in, is it time, knowing when to do the correct time. But I will say for me, I think one of the hardest things for me in the whole process is going to get the remains at the end.
yeah. And
That
we
was
see
the
that-
finale. I'm
yeah.
gonna
That
cry.
kinda-
I was thinking
that
about
just
it.
kind of makes it.
It's final.
It makes it all
Yeah.
final. It's
That's the
here's
worst
your
drive
stop
of all.
sign. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we see that too. People think that's an easy step, but I think that's
not.
the hardest. That's when you really face these people,
Yeah.
really face families that they left their pet and they come back for the ashes. Yeah,
They probably sit in their
hard.
car out in their parking lot,
Yes.
screwing up the courage to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really is tough. I bury my dogs. And sorry, I've never used your services. A lot of my customers have, but I always lived on property where I had enough space to, and I planted a tree on top of them.
Burial's a good ritual too.
Yeah, well, and that's
Planting
part
a
of
tree
it.
is a good ritual
Yeah,
too.
I-
Rituals
Place
are
something
good.
growing and living on
Yeah.
top to incorporate. I mean, that's
Yeah, keepsakes
Nice.
and rituals. Well, we're gonna think more about that, keepsakes and rituals. Well, we're gonna take a break first. So here we are.
And can we not cry in the fourth segment? You got Lisa and me crying, and almost Anika.
it's just soaked
Yeah.
over here on the side of the
this
table.
side of the table. I just start thinking about my dogs, and my eyes are tearing up. I can't even do it.
Yep.
So, can you promise us, Jeff, to keep us upbeat for the last
I
segment?
promise we're going to have some upbeat commercials coming up next here on 96.3 News Radio, KKOB. Welcome back, everyone. This is Duke City Dog Talk here on 96.3 News
Duke
Radio.
City Sad Talk.
And the phone and text line is 505-243-3333. You know, there's lots of things that we have talked about on how we deal with the end, how we deal with the passing. Lindsay's got a list of some things
Yeah.
on, like, you know, sometimes you don't know. Is your dog just a little bit older? Is your dog maybe ill? What are ways that you might know that the end really is near?
Well, first, the very common one is balance issues. Usually are kind of the first sign you see that starting to happen. But it's certainly not the end. You know, that's not necessarily. Loss of appetite, also not the end. But when they've stopped eating for several days, there's either a medical thing going on or they're passing. And you can kind of tell. If not, go to the vet, because they really can tell. They become disinterested, as you talked about. They're not kind of connected in the world anymore. Their bodies are conserving energy to stay alive. And then, you know, frequent health issues and is a sign. And I'm taking my older dog he's got a cough for the dog's been perfectly healthy for 13 years and now has his first real medical issue that's not a broken bone or a surgery, has cough. But, you know, he's still perky, cross-country skis, goes miles with us. He's strong. And incontinence. I had an old lab that was incontinent for weeks and then finally passed. I'd pick him up and run him out the door. He weighed 80 pounds. I was strong then, right? So, you know.
Actually, one of our dogs, Donovan, he had some fecal incontinence. He would actually, he pooped in his sleep a couple of times.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah. That happens a lot. I've talking with customers, and you know, it's like he would have no idea.
Right,
you know,
right.
so we would kind of like discreetly get it all cleaned up, so he had no idea that it happened, to help him maintain his own
His own
dignity.
His own dignity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that seems to happen a lot with dogs.
So
And there
most,
could be some things that are kind of inconvenient, quality of life issues, and certainly quality of life always factors into the decision, but it also doesn't necessarily mean that it's time either. Sometimes you can have some inconveniences that you could just take care of, like Donovan in his sleep having some accidents sometimes.
well, Aniko, it's very clear you have the right spirit to be where you're at, and you know, a kind and generous spirit, super important. And I would, even when I walked in the other day, your staff member treated me like I was bringing in a dead animal. I could tell she was really nice to me. So I mean, that's really important that you build that kind of climate. So when people come in, that's usually their experience, that kind of kindness.
Yes, I like to think that everybody in the team is very compassionate. Again,
Well, your customers, of
this
course,
is-
they're gonna get treated very well, but you experience a wide range of customer emotions too.
Yes. We all deal with grief differently. So, of course, most people are sad. We also have angry people. So emotions are all over the place. And we try to figure out what they need, read the room when we sit down with them in the arrangement room. Some people will tell you, I just want to sign and pay and get out of here
Right.
and leave my pet behind. And
Right.
it doesn't mean they are not grieving. They're just grieving differently.
Absolutely.
So we are pretty good at detecting these needs and just make sure they feel as comfortable as they can in this sad situation.
Yeah, that is totally cool. Actually, I this popped in my head. Last night I saw one of the most powerful movies I've seen in a long time, called Train Dreams on Netflix. Powerful loss, history, turn of the century, the last century, 20th century history, logging in the Northwest and Idaho. But the joy, I mean, the simplicity of the movie was so powerful. But a lot of loss going on in that movie. I'll just say that. Don't want to ruin it for you. But That's what you're dealing with all the time. So what do you do to perk yourself up?
But I'm going to interject just for a
Okay.
second because I want to bring up a movie moment as well. Just to
Okay,
kinda-
I start
just to
movies with
kinda
you guys. I'm going to hit it. I know it.
Remind everyone that we can also kind of laugh and joke about things sometimes too. So people ask us sometimes, like, well, what would we do with the ashes if we got, if we got cremation services, we got
Sure.
ashes, and sometimes people like to have different rituals. Sometimes they just keep them, they'll put them in a container on their mantle or
Right,
something like that.
right.
Sometimes people might want to go stand in front of the ocean and release
Skitter,
the ashes over the ocean, like in the movie The Big Lebowski. It's one of my favorite examples of that.
I did actually do something kind of like that with Flowers' remains. She passed away in 2018 on May the 4th. She became a Force ghost, and she passed in the middle of the night. We actually took her in directly after it happened. But I went to Scotland a few years ago, and Flower McFlower of the Clan McFlower was a big fan of kilted dudes, as many of us are. So when I went, I took some of her ashes with me, and there was where I was staying in southern Scotland. There was a river there, and I put some of her ashes there.
that's
and
cool.
It was a
Nice.
fishing town. There was like a fishing industry there, so there was a fish processing plant right in front of me. I was like, yeah, this looks pretty good. We'll put some in the water there, and so she could have a little Scottish resting place of
That's
sorts.
wonderful.
That reminds me of a topic too that we're not really going to have time to really get into, because you did say that Flower was a Force ghost, and indeed she was. Aniko, what's your experience on that? Have you had encounters with perhaps apparitions, pet apparitions?
Ooh, good topic. Yeah, we want to bring and talk about, do dogs go to heaven and are they ghosts and all that stuff? That's good.
No,
no.
I would say
You have not.
They're not. Okay. That's a good simple answer.
But I believe they're around. Their spirits are around. I like to believe that.
I must admit, though, when I think that question, I think of the millions of animals and billions who have died around the land over centuries or eons or millenniums, whatever time we've had. It'd be kind of a full place if they're all bumping
It's like when you
up
look at
against
the little tiny mites and things that live on your skin. It's probably
Right.
like that, like
Yeah.
some weird like ectoplasm that surrounds us all of our former pets.
I don't think that they're.
Oh, that's where we're going.
I don't think that
Ghostbusters
they're always
here.
interested in staying with us for that long, but they're
Yeah.
kind of interested in hanging out sometimes. And every
Yeah,
once
it
in a
might be.
while, we'll get glimpses of a former pet or a former human. Also, we can get glimpses, and sometimes we can just see them sitting right in front of us for several minutes. Or at least that's been my experience.
Oh,
And
good.
no,
Well,
I'm not
just-
on any medication right now either.
Maybe that's the problem.
Maybe you're off your meds again, Jeff. That would be, get back on those meds. You'll see those things.
Or different kinds of meds and see a lot more of them.
So, Aniko, what advice do you have for people with pets? What would you tell us now if you got a...
Don't be afraid of getting prepared.
Okay.
We
Thank
don't like to think about this.
Mhm.
We don't want to face the fact that it's going to happen. And it's what I see is that it's so much better to be prepared than not.
That's cool. Then
You can find something that you really, value and connect with for memorializing your best friend.
Yeah.
And you can get that all taken care of ahead of time instead of in the moment when you may not be able to make the decision that you would make otherwise.
Even
Right.
if you know the time is close, even if your pet is old, sick, and you know it's happening,
No,
it's
the-
going to happen soon.
So-
It's going to be very hard.
So now's the
Get
right
prepared.
time.
Yes.
Everybody
Make that
go
phone
to
call.
Best Friends on Monday at 9 a.m.
Give
And
a
tell us
call.
again, yes, your website so people can look you up. Tell us again.
So it's bestfriendspetcremation.com.
Or simply go to your favorite search engine and Best Friends Cremation,
Pet Cremation in
something like
Albuquerque.
that, and you'll
Yes.
come up top of the list. Best
Yep.
Friends Pet Cremation, or pet passings,
Passings
and
and
cremations. Thank you very much for joining us
Yeah,
today.
thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
the
you.
conversation.
Thank you.
You know, it's a hard topic, but it's one that we all face. So I
Hopefully,
really
we
appreciate you being
eliminated
with
some
us.
of the uncertainty about it.
Yeah,
so
and we've reduced some stress for people. Being prepared reduces stress for sure.
that's why we're here, people.
That's it.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, here on Duke City Dog Talk, and we'll see you next week.
Next Saturday, noon.
Woof.
Be there. Woof.
Woof.